It's your boy Hustle's Home, and I'm back with another one. And tonight we're gonna talk about this Figueroa Mark Magsayo fight. Good job by Brandon Figueroa. Good job by Mark Magsayo. Talk about two fights this one. I'm gonna talk about the Jarrett Hurd and the Armando Resendez fight first. Those are the only two fights I watched on this card because I was doing other stuff. But oh man, like those two fights lived up to the hype, man. One thing I want to salute Showtime for the time boxing day last two. If you are familiar with the boxing politics, you understand that Showtime and PBC get a lot of hate. And this card right here was a free card, and they had these two fights was really good. I didn't watch the whole card, like I said before, but I'm gonna go back and watch that card. But the fights I did watch, I watched Armando Resendez versus Jarrett Hurd. Now that fight was a nip and tuck fight. Both was given, both was receiving. Like it was a typical Jarrett Hurd fight against a young. The man was like 24 years old. That was a good fight. Thing with Jarrett Hurd, man, like when he box, he can box, bro. When he was boxing this guy, kept the guy on the edge of his jab. He was hitting this dude easily. I think like the third and fourth round, like in the sixth round, I think he did it. The times when he was fighting behind his jab, he was doing very well, and I thought that he was gonna continue to do it. But Jarrett Hurd, you know anything about Jarrett Hurd, he always goes back to his like high guard in them. It's not a high guard. It's like a Philly shell. You stand in the pocket sideways. So I mean that's kind of veteran move. So he can't when you stand in the pocket sideways, your opponent can't like use his other side. Like he can't punch him in the back. So when he get on the inside, he turned his shoulder, use sideways. And he was catching Resendez with a lot of uppercuts to the body, uppercuts to the head, and eventually Resendez was doing pretty good too. There was a lot of combination punches thrown there. I don't know the punch stats, but it was a lot of punches thrown. It was like no defense. Salute to both of these young men chin, bro. Like even though Armando Resendez did win by TKO stoppage, but the stoppage was due to cut on the lip. Like at first I was watching the fight, I was like, no, they stopped it, but they showed his lip. Like, bro, Jarrett Hurd lip was busted open. So salute to Armando Resendez for the TKO win against Jarrett Hurd. Big win for Jarrett Hurd. What do I think Jarrett Hurd should do afterwards? I don't know, like, cause he's still a good fighter. It's just like it's too little, too late to work on. He just he just take punches, and then like he don't got the power on the inside to like really like. I felt like if Jarrett Hurd had power and he was knocking these guys out, like, cause he hurt him a lot. He hurt. You can see Armando Resendez visibly hurting this a lot. Caught him with an uppercut, which dazed him real hard. But a lot of fighters don't got no killer in them, so he didn't go after him, hurt him. But it could have been due to exhaustion because I think Jarrett Hurd been out for like almost 2 years. But I mean, he's a gatekeeper now. Like he probably can double back if he could change his fight style. He's 32 years old. So I don't know if he could change his fight style. I don't know if he could change his fight style. I wouldn't even ask him to really at 32 years old. I wouldn't even really ask him to his fight style. He just got to be comfortable with where he's at as a former unified champion at 154. I feel like Jarrett Hurd, like he is who he is, man. Like he, I don't know. I don't know if he a gatekeeper at this point in time. This is a big loss to me to him as far as like who he was and who he is today. He sat out for a couple years. He shouldn't have took this fight. I feel like the thing about PBC is you match tough. You match real tough. I don't think he should have took this fight. If but at the same time, Armando Resendez wasn't fighting like how he fought tonight, his last fight. So I mean, good job with Resendez as far as like stepping his game up because he stepped his game up big time. His jab was there. His jab wasn't there his last fight. But salute to Armando Resendez again, winning TKO victory over Swift Jared Hurd, former 154-pound unified champion. That's a good little notch on this belt. And next up is the main event, Brandon Figueroa versus Mark Magsayo. And this fight was a very like back and forth war. It was a very good fight. The only thing I don't like is, I mean, Mark Magsayo was holding a lot in this fight. He got 2 points taken away from him for holding, which I feel like was justified. But that Brandon Figueroa is just a monster as far as like his pressure. Like I saw a couple times with Mark Magsayo hit him real hard, real clean, and like he'd even backed him up like a little bit. But you know what he did? He just took a step forward every single time. Brandon Figueroa take a step forward. Now, if I feel like just like with Jared Hurd and Brandon Figueroa, like their fighting style is so similar, except for Brandon Figueroa. I mean, Jared Hurd fights. He's a pressure fighter with a Philly shell base, and Brandon Figueroa is a pressure fighter with a high guard base. But in this fight, Brandon Figueroa was switching from southpaw to orthodox. And some like it's kind of hard to keep a bead on what Brandon Figueroa is doing, considering like he just like to fight. He's just a fighter. You see very little. I ain't gonna say you see very little skill because in this fight, like it, you can see what they've been working on. You can see Brandon Figueroa, especially like when he came out in the first couple rounds, shooting a jab and stuff like that. He was trying to keep his distance. But like Jared Hurd, like once their blood get boiling and they get in the fight and they get in the mix and they adrenaline pumping and stuff like that, like they completely abandon the game plan. If the game plan was to work behind your jab, work behind the 1-2, man, Jared Hurd and Brandon Figueroa about round six, that game plan going out the window. But all in all, Brandon Figueroa wins by unanimous decision, and I feel like that was a good decision. Brandon Figueroa had Mark Moxio hurt. I think he was hurt like in the ninth round on. Like he kept like he could not take the body shot. And the thing about it is Mark Moxio, he got that old veteran like ring IQ. He was holding him like he was bending over real hard. Like if Brandon Figueroa wasn't 100% all go, he would have eventually like he would have took a step back and shot the uppercut. I feel like that's probably what he should have did, but he probably could have got Max Sayo out of there. But I mean, Brandon Figueroa is whatever he is who he is. And salute to and I don't want to take nothing from Brandon Figueroa's victory, but salute to Cool Boy Steph for beating him. Like Cool Boy Steph stepped in that pocket and beat that man at his own game plan, even though he ain't had to. And Mark Maxio got that big win over Gary Russell Jr. So I feel like man, this is a big win for Brandon Figueroa. I don't know what he's gonna do next, but I mean, he just went up to 126, get his first big win against. This is man. Salute to Brandon Figueroa. This is a very big victory. To go up and wait and to take on a big name like Brandon Figueroa to go. I mean, not Brandon Figueroa, Mark Maxio, and go straight to the smoke after a loss. Actually, I think this is right after the loss of with Cool Boy Steph. This is after a loss, ladies and gentlemen. That man is a true warrior. If considering like back to back fights with no, I'm sorry, I apologize, I was wrong. I just looked it up. He just beat Carlos Castro his last fight at 126. Okay. I thought this was his first fight, but salute to him. He's now the WBC interim uh featherweight champion, and I'm sure he want that WBC belt. I'm sure he want that WBC belt. I don't know. I don't know when he's gonna get the WBC belt. I mean, his opportunity in the WBC belt right now, but he he got the interim. So whatever he want to do, I'm with him because Mark, he'll tough out for anybody. He'll tough out for anybody. I feel like though, if somebody got some true real power though, somebody got some real power, they probably put him on his tail. But Mark Magsayo got real power though, so I really can't take that from him. No, really can't say that because Mark Magsayo definitely has power. Definitely has power. So we gonna see what's going on. It's your boy Hustles Home, and don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Hustles Home. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Hustles Home. And that's what it is.